We're going to launch ChatGPT Atlas, our new web browser. This is an AI-powered web browser built around ChatGPT. It's something we've been super excited about and working hard on for a long time. We think that AI represents like a rare once-a-decade opportunity to rethink what a browser can be about and how to use one and how to sort of most productively. And we got very excited about the opportunity to really rethink what this could be. The way that we hope people will use the internet in the future, and that we're starting to see, is that the chat experience and a web browser can be a great analog. We got to work designing a browser based around this kind of experience.
For over a decade, Google Chrome has ruled the internet, a digital empire so dominant that nearly 65% of all web traffic passes through it. But that empire may be collapsing. Because just days ago, OpenAI unveiled something that could change everything. It's called Atlas, a new AI-powered browser designed to merge the internet with ChatGPT itself. And this isn't just another tech update. This is a direct threat to Google's most profitable stronghold. What we're witnessing isn't just a product launch. It's the opening shot of a war for control over the web. When OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman took the stage to announce Atlas, he didn't even mention Google by name. He didn't have to. Everyone already knew who this was aimed at. Atlas isn't built like a traditional browser. It's not about search bars or tabs or bookmarks. It's about intelligence. You don't type into it, you talk to it. You don't search, you ask. Every query, every website, every click, filtered through OpenAI's brain. If you want to find a recipe, you won't get 10 blue links. You'll get a curated explanation, summarized and tailored for you. If you want news, Atlas will read the articles, compare sources, and deliver a balanced overview, instantly. And that's exactly what terrifies Google, because Google's entire business model relies on you searching, clicking ads, and browsing manually. Atlas removes all of that. For Google, this isn't just competition, it's extinction-level disruption. Sundar Pichai, Google's CEO, has reportedly held emergency meetings since the Atlas reveal. According to Business Insider, senior engineers inside Google were stunned by how far OpenAI's technology has come. One insider was quoted saying, "Atlas isn't just faster, it's smarter. It doesn't just browse the web, it understands it." That single difference changes the entire internet economy, because when an AI can read, comprehend, and summarize everything for you, why would anyone need Google search anymore? Now, OpenAI didn't build Atlas overnight. The groundwork started when they integrated ChatGPT with live browsing earlier this year. It was clunky at first, slow, limited, sometimes inaccurate. But behind the scenes, OpenAI was training its models to do something far more advanced: autonomous web reasoning. Atlas takes that to another level. It's not just fetching information, it's analyzing context, comparing perspectives, and deciding what's relevant to you.
The browser's already where a ton of work and sort of life happens. And we think that by having ChatGPT be sort of a core way to help you use that, you can use ChatGPT to find stuff. You can use an agent mode with ChatGPT in a browser, way more stuff that we'll show you can try out later. We can take this pretty far.
So Atlas started with a question. What if you could chat with your browser? And from that idea, we reimagined the entire experience. Replacing years of clutter and complexity with Atlas didn't feel like your old browser, just with a chat button that was bolted on. But instead, we made ChatGPT the beating heart of Atlas. I find that when I use Atlas myself, I'm more curious. I ask more questions. I think it's made me, just like I said, a more curious, better informed person. Atlas is fast and flexible enough to support some amazing new experiences that we'll show you shortly. It's a new kind of browser for the next era of the web.
First, Atlas should feel very familiar. So it has all of your tabs, bookmarks, autofill for password, all the things you're used to. The first is chat comes with you anywhere as you go on the web. So no longer do you have to copy and paste between tabs when you're working on writing an email or a document anywhere across the web. The second big feature is browser memory. And we talked a lot about this when we were building it. But memory is such a critical feature in ChatGPT because as you use ChatGPT more, it just gets more personalized and helps you better and understands you much better. Now that's going to happen as you go on your browser across the web. Third, which we're really excited about, and Justin's going to show this later, is Agent, which is in Atlas, ChatGPT now can take actions for you. It can do things. bring up a little cursor, start clicking around when you ask it to. It can help you book reservations or flights, or even just edit a document that you're working on.
It learns from your habits, your interests, your tone of voice. Imagine an AI browser that not only finds what you want, but predicts what you'll need next. And here's where it gets serious. Google's dominance has always been protected by two walls: Chrome and Search. Together, they feed each other. Chrome funnels billions of users to Google Search every day, and Search keeps them dependent on Google's ecosystem. But if Atlas becomes the default way people interact with the internet, both of those walls collapse. No more need to open Google. No more need for ads. No more need for the traditional web structure Google built its fortune on. That's why the reaction inside Mountain View has been pure panic. In internal memos leaked to the press, Google executives described Atlas as the first real existential threat to Chrome. They've seen competitors come and go: Firefox, Edge, Brave. But this time, it's different. Atlas isn't trying to out-search Google. It's trying to replace the need for search altogether. Even worse for Google, OpenAI has struck deals with Microsoft to integrate Atlas directly into Windows and the Edge browser engine, essentially bypassing Chrome entirely. That gives OpenAI instant access to hundreds of millions of devices overnight. And while Google scrambles to release updates to its own Gemini AI assistant, users are already migrating to OpenAI's ecosystem, where ChatGPT, voice control, and now the browser all live under one seamless interface. But there's another layer to this story, one that no one's really talking about. Atlas isn't just a browser. It's a data collector, but not in the way Google is. Instead of tracking users for ads, it learns to think more like them. Every search, every summary, every conversation becomes part of a feedback loop that improves the model itself. In other words, every time someone uses Atlas, OpenAI's brain gets smarter. It's a self-evolving internet organism, and the more people use it, the faster it grows. Now imagine that at scale. Within a year, Atlas could become not just a product, but the interface of the internet itself, a personalized layer between you and every piece of online information. That's not just competition, that's replacement. Of course, Google isn't going down without a fight. Reports say they're accelerating development on a counter-project codenamed Helix, a version of Chrome powered by their own Gemini AI that could rival Atlas. But even internally, engineers admit they're months, maybe years, behind. OpenAI, backed by Microsoft's $13 billion investment, has the momentum, the resources, and the public's fascination. Google, on the other hand, looks like the giant that fell asleep at the wheel.
Be presented with when you first download and open the app, or anytime you create a new tab. We tried to create an experience here that will feel totally familiar coming from a traditional browser, and you'll see there's a composer in the center of the screen where you could ask Chat a question like normal. You can get to all of your tools, your models, with all of your chat history. But because it's a browser, you can do more. Type Hacker News. I could say, I could reference a bookmark in human language, and it's going to open my commits for this Galaxy diff. Search web history for a doc about Atlas core design. Searching your browser memories. And there you go. It looks like it found the doc I'm talking about. It's in my Google Docs. If I tap it, you'll see it'll open there. Let's jump back to the homepage for one final feature. So below the composer on Atlas, you'll see suggestions. These suggestions are kind of the first version of personalization in Atlas. It will be generated for you based on what Atlas understands about what you've been up to or might be trying to do next. The more you use Atlas, the better these suggestions get. And again, it's very much a V0 of personalization, but we're really excited to see where the homepage of the browser goes. That's the home screen. Now I'm gonna hop over to that GitHub example and show you my personal favorite feature. So here I have some code I was working on this morning. There's this Ask ChatGPT button. You'll see this on any website you visit, and when you click it, it creates a companion sidebar. It's basically you inviting ChatGPT to do all of the things you would expect to be able to do with ChatGPT, but now it can see whatever that specific web page is. Sounds simple, but it's actually been a major unlock for how I use the browser. It's about displaying information for you to edit into this tool that understands the information it's displaying, and in some cases can even edit it for you. Is this safe to cherry pick into the RC launching today? Bringing it into your own corner of the internet. I use it a lot for pull requests or Slack when I want to summarize a channel I've been reading. It's really useful, and we're excited for you all to try it.
You have this by your side, you just ask a lot more questions, which I really love about it.
Totally. It's a little bit of a paradigm shift where you go from just having this sort of one call, one response to...
Sundar Pichai now faces the same problem Steve Ballmer did at Microsoft during the rise of iPhone. How do you compete when the future already left you behind? Atlas is more than an app. It's a vision for what browsing could be when AI runs the entire experience. Think about this. When you ask a question in Atlas, you're not browsing random websites anymore. You're talking to the collective intelligence of the internet itself. And if OpenAI succeeds, the browser won't just show you the web, it will become the web. That's why analysts are calling this move the biggest disruption to Google since its founding. Because for the first time ever, search is no longer the center of the online experience. Understanding is, even governments are starting to pay attention. Cybersecurity experts have already warned that if Atlas becomes the default gateway to the web, whoever controls it could shape what billions of people see and believe. That's enormous power concentrated in one AI system. OpenAI insists Atlas is built with transparency and user control in mind. But history tells us every empire starts with good intentions. And for Google, that's exactly the nightmare scenario. Because if OpenAI now controls the browser, the search, and the assistant, all roads to information lead through Sam Altman's world, not Sundar Pichai's. What comes next is uncertain. Google still has its deep infrastructure, its Android devices, its YouTube monopoly. But the tide is shifting fast. If Atlas succeeds, the next generation might never Google something again. They'll just ask, and the AI will answer. The browser wars of the 2000s were fought over speed and features. The browser wars of the 2020s are about something far bigger: control of human knowledge itself. As one analyst put it, Chrome built the internet we know. Atlas could build the one that replaces it. Google's dominance has always looked unstoppable. Until now. Because for the first time in history, someone isn't just competing with Google. They're building a smarter version of the web, one that doesn't need Google at all. And the scariest part? It's already here. This is the story of OpenAI's Atlas. And the moment Google realized its empire might finally be over.
You can kind of keep workshopping until you get what you're looking for, which is very in keeping with chat.
Yeah, I often find I'm browsing, I just keep this thing open and I just like flow questions into it.
Let's take a look at search, which has some more of this side chat to show. So, some major upgrades to search on ChatGPT when accessed via Atlas. So we know that search is kind of one of the core flow, and a lot of these searches can be very keyword-based or short. And LLMs traditionally struggle with that, where they don't have enough context to provide a great answer. So anytime you search within Atlas, you get these tabs across the top. You can quickly pivot your experience into something more like a traditional search engine. It's in a super useful way. We call it cursor chat. Really excited to see what people do with it. Let's hit send, fire that off to Omar.
Awesome.
There we are.
ChatGPT in your browser, just an easier part of your daily work. One thing that you can see a little bit of there, but really comes through when you use it, is this is just a great browser all around. It's smooth.
We get to show you how Atlas is able to browse the web and do things for you in agent mode. There's honestly so many different ways you can use this, right? To hand off a task that you're just not interested in doing, or you want it to teach you how to do something in software you've never seen before. Honestly, we've just been blown away by how powerful this agent can be with full access to your browser and your personal internet. That makes safety really important. We've built safety into every part of our stack, from the model all the way to the product experience, which Pranav will tell us a bit more about. But why don't we see it in action?
We have been planning a haunted house.
Really excited for this.
Yeah, I'm pumped. And for whatever reason, I got roped into being the project manager we've been using to kind of informally plan out our tasks. And so you can see, some people have filled in their current week's tasks, and so I would love to leave a comment politely reminding them to do so. And then second is, while Google Docs is this amazing tool management software called Linear, And I would love to take all of the current weak tasks that have been filled out and convert them into linear tasks in agent mode. And I'm going to kick this off. And this agent mode tells ChatGPT that I want it to actually take actions on my behalf inside of Atlas. And so you see it has its own cursor. It's going to be clicking around as if it were me, has access to all of my local authentication, all of my history.
What the agent was doing, so you can start to build trust that it was doing what you wanted it to.
But yeah, just to emphasize this point, this is ChatGPT in agent mode using your web browser fully. It's got all your stuff. It's clicking around for you. You can watch it or you can't. You don't have to, but it's just like really, it's using the internet for you.
Exactly, exactly.
And that's one of the cool things about the experience of using agent
Yeah.
in Atlas.
So it looks like it is kicking off. I don't need to sit and watch it, right? I can let it just do its thing in the background and use my browser for other things. So here we have a recipe, how we can use agent for things in your personal life. So one thing that I always struggle with recipes is figuring out what ingredients I need to buy. Somewhere in the recipe page, it's some serving size, I need to figure it all out. So I like to use Atlas to ask ChatGPT, what ingredient do I need to cook this for 8 people? And ChatGPT is going to go ahead and read the web page.
So useful.
Yeah, in the past I've told it that I like my shopping list organized by grocery aisle to make it a little easier to shop for. I have most of this, honestly. I just need the meat and the produce. So I'm going to say, can you order the meat and produce for me? Start off how you can start agent mode by clicking a button, right? Which is really useful if you know to reach for it. But in those moments that you don't, ChatGPT can figure out you're always in control. You always have the option to approve or reject it. So I'm just going to click continue to hand the task off to agent.
I love how collaborative agent is in Atlas. So you can just hand off your tabs. You can go back and forth, and we've really improved agent a bunch. As you can notice, like at any moment in time, you could take control. And so one thing that's really great about this is like agent already knows that it knows exactly where to go when all he said was, can you order this for me? And so it's found its way over to Instacart and it's starting to search. You can see how it...
I pride myself in my typing speed, and this is just blowing me out of the water.
Yeah, so. Exactly, and it started adding items to the cart already. Really new set of risks. And so it's really important to us, in addition to a bunch of built-in safeguards like ChatGPT agent is only ever operating on your tabs. It's full of exactly what you're handing over access to. And so if I open a new tab just to show this off, you always get to decide whether ChatGPT agent is logged in or logged out. So we really recommend thinking carefully about for any given task, does ChatGPT agent need access to your logged in sites and data to actually work just fine while being logged out with minimal access. And that same principle of control carries through to our entire browser experience. It's also worth noting that those are completely optional. You can decide whether you turn them on in onboarding or not. You can always see the memories themselves and manage them in settings. You always can make a new incognito window, and so you'll be able to do this to ask questions like what to do when.
The agent was able to go through, fill out the cart, and it's just so useful having, doesn't need to go all the way to making the purchase order. In fact, it's better for me if I can review what it did and decide to buy or add more things to my cart or whatever else I need to do.
Looks like it successfully added these tasks to linear, and it's a little hard to see on the screen, but it's also tagged the right people for each task. It shows you relevant tabs at the bottom, so you can see what tabs it's worked on. So I can go back and check the Google Doc and see, great, it looks like it's tagged all the people. We've seen a couple of awesome examples of how ChatGPT can actually control the Atlas browser and perform useful actions on your behalf. The way that GPT-5 and Codex are these great tools for vibe coding, we believe that we can start in the long run to have an amazing tool for vibe lifing. One of the great joys of working at OpenAI is when we release technology, people outside the company always come up with way more creative ideas for how to use it than we can. I'm really excited to see all the unexpected and cool ways that you can use the agent in Atlas, and we're really excited to ship this. So
we are indeed really excited to ship this. We hope you'll love it. We think that AI represents like a rare once-a-decade opportunity to rethink what a browser can be about and how to use one and how to sort of most productively. And tabs were great, but we haven't seen a lot of browser innovation since then. So we got very excited about the opportunity to really rethink what this could be. The way that for the previous way people use the internet, the URL bar of a browser and the search box were a great analog. The way that we hope people will use the internet, and that we're starting to see, is that the chat experience and a web browser can be a great analog. So we got to work designing a browser. The browser is already where a ton of work and sort of life happens. And we think that by having ChatGPT be sort of a core way to help you use that. So this is going live today for macOS worldwide for all of our users, although agent mode is only available to Plus and Pro users for now. We'll bring this to Windows and to mobile devices as quickly as we can. We think people will, hopefully you'll love this as much as we do. Still early days for this project. We think the kind of idea that we're excited about is what it means to have custom instructions follow you everywhere on the web, and that you're having do things for you, getting to know you more and more, pulling stuff together for you proactively, finding things that you might want on the internet and bringing them together, which we showed a little bit of. We think we can push that quite far. We hope you'll check this out. We hope you will enjoy it, and please send us feedback. Thank you very much.